Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. These past couple weeks have been a little bit hectic for me. On the day that this video is supposed to release, I'm going to be doing a live stream from 2 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. During this live stream, I'm going to be painting a Fenrir Beast Pack from the Nords Warband kit that I recently received. Although I received these models about a week and a half ago, I ran into some issues while I was filming the painting of these models. The filming ended up being a little bit splotchy and I couldn't really get good footage from it. Since then, I bought a new camera for the painting desk. Although it's not quite the quality that I want it to be, I think it's a good starting point, and I'll just keep moving up from there. During that time, I also played my first Conquest game. It was actually a lot of fun. I met up with a local guy who was looking to get a community started in this area. So we went ahead and played a game. I played Spires, he played 100 Kingdoms, and I actually won for once. We played the last Argument of Kings, and I've been pushing a little bit heavily into getting the Warband kit so that I could start demoing First Blood. I believe First Blood is a little bit of a better starting point for new people in the community. It's a lower model count and cost, and allows a pretty good start for somebody who's just getting into the game. The core rules are very similar, but it does differ whenever you get into the more unit style rank and flank, or the skirmish units. I also now have an affiliate link with Para-Bellum. Using the link and code down below gets you 10% off your order from Para-Bellum. This code works for both the US and the worldwide eShop, but make sure you click on the right link so you get to the right website. I started painting the Skald from the Warband kit, and I wanted this model to be heavily detailed. It's a resin model, and Para-Bellum did a great job with their resin. It doesn't feel like it's super fragile like some of the Games Workshop or even my 3D printed resins are. So without further ado, here's how I painted the Skald. I wanted to go with a fairly easy style while working on this set. I wanted it to be fast, yet still look really good when put down on the table. So starting out, on the skin tone, I only used two different colors. I used the Shadow Flesh from Pro Acryl and the Tan Flesh from Pro Acryl. I started out with a base layer of the shadowed flesh. After I covered the skin, I moved on to a mixture of half shadowed flesh and half tan flesh. This kind of created a third layer that I believe was missing in some other skin tones that I tried to do. I put this on about 80% of the model's skin, and I focused a little bit more heavily on the higher parts of the model. Next up, I just went with 100% tan flesh. For this, I really wanted to focus on the higher points of the model. I just did a quick sketch across it. I did a second layer of the tan flesh over the forehead and a couple other areas that didn't get a good opaque layer. After that, I moved on to other parts of the model. I went with a whole red on the shirt. I wanted the shirt to be red, but not be overly red. I didn't want it to just come out at you just bright, vibrant red. I wanted it to have a very dull red. After that, I went through and base coated the browns for all of the different leather bits and the stump that he's currently got his leg resting on. I decided with the cloak, I wanted to bring in a little bit of a different color. So I went with a really dull, muted yellow. It took me quite a few coats to get a nice opaque yellow across there. I would say probably about 4 or 5 layers. Once I got the cloak to a good opaque layer, I moved on to mixing a little bit of the whole red with a more vibrant red. I felt like there was a lot of brown on this miniature, so what I ended up doing was I mixed a little bit of clear orange with the brown, just to try to pull in a little bit more of an orangey color. And I took that over some of the smaller straps of leather coming across the miniature. After doing the orange, I wanted the rest of the leather and browns to stand out more. I took a little bit of the tan flesh and I mixed it with the warm brown from Pro-Acryl. I got a lighter color from that and I just kind of went over the raised areas of the miniature. I trimmed his cloak and cufflinks in gold. It was really the only gold that he had on him. For the rest of the model, I used the blue steel from Turbo Dork. I liked how the Turbo Dork paints came out. It kind of solved my problem whenever it came to the consistency of metallic paints for me. Most of the time I have issues with metallic paints because they're too thick. Watering down a metallic paint, although it's possible, it just ends up kind of making the paint a little bit cloudy from what I've seen. The Turbo Dork paints are actually meant to be used for a airbrush, but you can brush on the paints, and that's what I was doing here. After I did the gold, I went in with a little bit of that clear orange and just brightened up his hair a little bit. Here's the finished model. I went into a little bit more detail with this model, but I really wanted to just get these guys out on the playing field. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're looking for a new game to play, I highly suggest checking out Para-Bellum's Conquest. They've got two different modes you can play, whether you're playing First Blood, which is the skirmish game, or Last Argument of Kings, which is the rank and flank. As I stated earlier, using the code down below will get you 10% off. And they have some really neat army packs coming out on the 26th of May. You can get 1-player starter kits for every single faction, including the city-states faction. Or you can take a look at the 2-player starter kit that comes with the Nords and the city-states. It doesn't take much to get armies painted and out on the playing field. I went a little bit above and beyond on mine, and I fully detailed the base out, but you don't have to go that far into detail. Just a little something to make the game a little bit more enjoyable. There's nothing like playing a game where there's a fully decked out battlefield. You have the terrain and then 2 fully painted armies battling it out. That was always the most fun part for me, is just seeing what everybody else came up with in their painting schemes, and then using these same models to play a game with. I'm also working on releasing a Patreon. I'm trying to decide what the different tiers should be, and what sets each tier apart. What are some things you guys think are worth investing in? I've thought about doing a Discord server, but there are a lot of Discord servers around, and some of them provide even better painting advice or gameplay advice. If you want a really good Conquest gameplay Discord, you should join the Para-Bellum Discord. If you want a really good painting Discord, you should join the Monument Hobbies painting Discord. There's always people in both Discords willing to help out with whatever questions you need and they both provide a really nice place where you can show off your collection. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, later on today I'll be doing a live stream and you're not going to want to miss that.